What's going on, everybody? We are back with episode number 2. It is Tuesday.
It is.
And you know what Tuesday is, Josiah?
I do know what Tuesday is. It is Get to Know with Josiah.
It's Get to Know with Josiah. It's not Get to Know Josiah, but it's just Get to Know with.
Get to Know with Josiah. I mean, you'll get to know me a little bit. That's part of it.
That's true.
It's part of it.
Welcome to West Nale Virus, the sports show to save all sports shows and to save planet Earth. We're going with.
Yeah. We're going to save the entire world.
Yes.
So like the Avengers, but with less wanton destruction of cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no destruction of cities, no death here.
No death
Just
or destruction, just saving.
So Get to Know is a little segment that we thought of when we got started. And I mean, we're still getting started, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be those days. And so Tuesdays, Josiah is going to take over, and I'm going to have a question for him. And we're going to have a conversation on this one question, or we're going to see how far we get. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 hours. Hopefully not.
It won't be 5 hours.
No.
I'll be asleep.
Okay.
It will just be a recording of me sleeping.
How entertaining. Thursdays, we're going to vice versa. We're going to flip-flop. Might be a better way to say it.
I'll have a question. I'll have a question for Caleb.
Right. And they can be about anything. It can be about us. It can be about things that we know about. We're going to try and keep it to sports because this is a sports show. Like we said, we're saving planet Earth with this sports show. So it probably should be about sports.
But it won't always be because we get distracted.
Right.
And that's just how it works.
And we're going to say, I'm going to say here first, we're not apologizing for our opinions here. If you have an issue with them, you can call us and we'll talk to you about it. Message us.
Absolutely.
And you can message us by either sending an email to westnalevirus@gmail.com because we've made social media since the first episode.
Yes.
So we are on TikTok. The TikTok is going crazy right now. We have one
popping
post.
Off.
No.
We have 4 likes and about 62 views. So you could say we've made it big time.
Yeah. We so you can find us on TikTok at West Nale Virus. You can find us on Instagram at West Nale Virus. But most importantly, we want you with your mouth to tell your friends, to tell your family, to tell other sports lovers here or around you that we're here
or anywhere,
and we're not going anywhere. We're not going nowhere.
We're here to stay. We are. This is a commitment. We're doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think
saving the world.
You know what that reminds me of is remember the Titans.
Good point.
The Titans are here, y'all, and we ain't going nowhere.
Okay, so
one of the greatest sports movies of all time. All right, so should we get to know?
Yeah,
with Josiah.
Let's do it. Let's
get
do
to
it.
Know, ... All right, Josiah. What I want to know is why are you a Georgia Bulldogs fan? We touched on it yesterday that you are a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Yes.
And a big time Georgia football fan.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, even if I don't watch them, every game of their basketball season or their baseball season, I still am cheering for them to win in those things.
What? Okay, so let me go back. How did you become a Georgia football fan? A Georgia Bulldog fan?
Yes.
I gotta get football out of my head.
It's hard. Well, I became a Georgia Bulldogs fan through Georgia football.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what happened was, actually, my dad went to UGA for college. He graduated with an MBA. No, not MBA.
It's okay.
Bachelor's of Business Management.
Bragging about Papa West here.
Yeah. Bachelor's of Business Management. It's pretty good, But no, yeah, he graduated from UGA, and ever since then, him and all his friends who he, had known either since before college or met in college. In fact, him and two of his friends started a business together, and he still knows all his buddies from college, from UGA, and they've always gone to games together at least once a year. He takes us to a game ever since I was a baby. I mean, not a baby, but like ever since I can remember. And
probably a baby. You SEC people are crazy.
It's not impossible, but it's doubtful. The baby, but probably 1 year old was probably my first one. Okay. Went from there, but no, I mean, I loved it. And that was the other thing, was we didn't watch any TV at my house. So I was homeschooled, and us homeschoolers
we could tell
don't believe in television. But no, I mean, seriously, we didn't watch TV like at all. Every once in a while, my parents might watch the news, but other than that, the only thing we pretty much ever watched was UGA football. We watched every week. We always watched it. I mean, religiously. My dad's on this forum called the Dog Vent, and I have no clue what his username is on there.
I don't want to know.
Me neither. But yeah, no, I mean, my dad's always been a huge Georgia football fan, took me to games, always watched the games with him, loved it. And yeah, I've always had a Georgia shirt, or when I was a little kid, I had a Georgia helmet. And oh my gosh, I just love watching Georgia play football. And that's kind of how I became a Georgia football fan, or Georgia Bulldog fan. I
want to say something. What I found is that, a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of the teams that they're fans for started at a young age because either, dad or grandpa or mom or aunt and uncle were fans of this team, either a professional team or a college team. Somebody went there or whatnot.
Right.
And then as we get older, we develop our own interests in different teams. So you are your own man now.
Right.
Or if not, you better be soon, because
right. Well, yeah.
Josiah is engaged, everyone. Congratulations,
I am
Josiah.
Engaged. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So for the sake of your future wife, you are a man now, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And you
hopefully.
Yeah. She'll let us know. What and when? Okay, when did it happen? You're like, okay, yes, I am all in Georgia football. I've made my own decision that I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Well, the thing for me was I always grew up, and being homeschooled, you would think would prevent you from becoming your own person for a longer time. For me, I feel like it did the opposite, because I was around my parents.
I got to get the hell out of here.
Exactly. No, I mean, I was just around them all the time. So hearing them, they always had one opinion about things. But then when I would hear other things, I'd question their opinions. And obviously, usually people have generally the same opinions as their parents. And I don't have all the same opinions, but a lot of the ways of thinking are the same. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just grew up loving Georgia. And I always wanted, from the time I was a kid, I always wanted to play on Georgia. And
I never to play Georgia football.
Yeah, that was my dream. And then I didn't go to high school. So I didn't play football at all. So
that ended quickly.
It was like, I've got a dream, and then the world just smashed it. But it was, it's okay. I don't have CTE, so
that's good.
So that's a trade-off I'll take, I suppose. I'm pretty small too. Like, once again, we mentioned this last episode, but I'm 5'6". That is real short. Yeah. For a football player. Like, obviously there are players like that, but like, I'm not built super stocky either. So I'm not going to be like a Doug Martin little muscle hamster guy. Like,
right. You're not as fast as Christian McCaffrey and agile. So
yeah, I'm no. It's so, I mean, And who knows, how good I could have been, but who knows how any of us, could have been, right? That's the same. That's like anybody
That's a
who
bad
didn't
question to
train
ask. That's a bad
for.
question to ask.
Well, yeah, I know it is, but I'm saying anybody who didn't train for years and years and years, you'll never know, but they didn't, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
Is there anyone that you looked up to because you wanted to play Georgia football? So who did you look up to on the Georgia football team?
So, my favorite player when I was younger was David Green. I loved David Green.
Okay, I have no idea who that is.
He was the UGA quarterback. I don't know exactly what years, but it was when I was real young.
Okay.
And so I just grew up. David Green was our quarterback, and I loved our quarterback, David Green. And then we had Noshawn Moreno.
Oh, I remember him.
Noshawn Moreno.
He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, this whole time I loved Herschel Walker, because who doesn't love Herschel Walker?
Right.
But, and then kind of, I couldn't tell you what year Todd Gurley came into the Georgia Bulldogs, but I was at Todd Gurley's first game with UGA. And so I saw his first touchdown, and I loved Todd Gurley.
From the second he stepped on the field or touched the ball.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was a huge Todd Gurley fanboy. And I wanted him in fantasy when he graduated, but my dad got him before I could get. Of course, now he's got a knee problem. So
that's true. We're in a fantasy football dynasty league.
Yes.
And Josiah and his dad and his brother, if there's a Georgia guy out there, they will take them before anyone else. It doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah, well, except Hunter. Hunter took Nick Chubb because of that. Yeah. His brother Hunter took Nick Chubb because he knew we all wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Anyway, so you've looked up to Georgia football players for a long time.
Yes, I've looked up to Georgia football players for a long time. I loved AJ Green, of course, because he was just amazing. I loved
about Stafford.
I loved Stafford. Yeah, I did. I loved Aaron Murray. There's a guy on the defensive side, and Jarvis Jones. I'm
not gonna know half these people.
But yeah, no, there were so many defensive players, so many offensive players, just everybody. I loved them. Mark Richt. I loved Mark Richt. Man, I loved Mark Richt. I was sad to see him go. I really was.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want him to leave. Obviously, Kirby Smart has been a great addition to the UGA culture, but it was sad to see Richt go. But yeah, no, I looked up to players for my entire life, and sometime in high school, I knew I didn't know where I was going to college.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the point where it's like, well, if I end up going to college somewhere else, I'll still be a Georgia fan, but I'll also be a fan of this other place. Well, I ended up going to Dalton State. Mm-hmm. That's the college I go to.
Okay.
So now everybody knows where I live.
Well, no, not necessarily, but we know you live in Georgia.
That's true. But you do know I live in Georgia. Dalton State. And it's just real cheap college, but they don't have a football team. So I'm not gonna go be a Dalton State football fan because there is no football team. I mean, we have flag football, but yeah, that's not really anything. So yeah, I mean, I just ended up being a Georgia football fan, being a Georgia Bulldog fan, because that's what I grew up, and there was never any reason to change. Now I'm a staunch fan.
How did the Georgia Bulldog, either football team or just Georgia Bulldog athletics, bring you and your family together? I know because your dad was a student there and loved that. So I'm sure he was like, I want my boys got to be Georgia Bulldog fans too. But what experiences did you have with your dad and your siblings around Georgia athletics?
Well, I mean, one thing was just that I got to watch games with my dad all the time. Like when I was younger, I mean, when you're younger, everyone loves doing stuff with their dad, with their parents,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you love it. You don't want to not do stuff with your parents when you're a little kid.
Right. And you were blessed to have them around.
And I was blessed to have them around. Very, very much so. And I got to have these, every Saturday. I had this fun weekend where I could look forward to every week. We get to sit down and watch Georgia play on TV, and we're all just sitting around, we'll have snacks and it'll be super fun. So it was,
Eat briskets and grits and
yeah,
what else you
whatever
guys
it
eat over
was.
there.
Yeah. I mean, probably once a year we'd have a big party like that, and he'd have all his buddies over and their kids, and that was a lot of fun. We'd go to one game every year, which I look forward to so much. Developed a love for gummy bears.
At Georgia football games.
At Georgia football. That was one thing I look forward to every year as well, was at the Georgia game. I got gummy bears every single year.
Because home stores don't get sugar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've met my mom.
I love you, Marianne.
Me too, Mom. But yeah, she didn't feed us sugar when we were younger, which, I mean, thanks, Mom. I don't have diabetes, but I'll take it.
You had something to look forward to.
I had something to look forward to. It was great. So yeah, it was just a lot of great memories with my family and me and my brother, even my brother Daniel, his cousin.
Obviously.
Duh. We always watched Georgia football together growing up. So me and Daniel, we got closer through that. It was just a shared interest that we got to do something together.
So no one in your family is a Georgia Tech fan?
No, and if they were, they wouldn't be in the family. So
is it that bad?
No. My dad told me that, he said when I was younger, he said, well, if you went and played football for Georgia Tech, I would rather you play for Georgia, but I'll be out there in a Georgia Tech blazer.
No way.
With a yellow and blue wavy thing, and I'll cheer you on. But yeah, that was a touching moment.
So that's when you knew your dad loved you.
I knew my dad loved me right then.
People want to hear that there's from their dad that he's proud of you. You just wanted to hear that he would wear a Georgia Tech blazer.
You wear a Georgia Tech blazer for me, Dad.
That means everything.
That means everything.
I do not want to go to Georgia Tech.
And, I guess I'm not dissing you if you go to Georgia Tech. You're probably real smart, but I don't want to go there. Sounds horrible.
No, there's a certain connotation, I'm sure, about people that go to Georgia Tech. But now you also have a huge rivalry with Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say this. Since we're talking about Josiah here and Georgia, what college do you hate? Florida. I need to know. Florida. Okay.
Florida.
None of
Florida,
this.
Auburn.
Okay.
I think are the two I hate the most.
Are they hated equally, or is one hated more so than the other?
I want to say Florida is the worst.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because I don't know if this is the way it is everywhere, but where I live, Florida fans are the worst people I have ever met. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen a guy wearing a Florida Gators shirt get thrown out of our rec department's 12-year-old football game, or younger. I was like, you need to calm down, man. It's like child football and your son can barely run. Like he's not even playing. He's on the sideline panting because the coach put him in for a play. You need to chill out, man. They were just horrible around here. I'm not saying that's the way everywhere, but for me, that was the experience I had with Florida fans. So, I mean, that's just who I ended up hating. And also because when I was young, there was that Tim Tebow era, which, I love Tebow, but when he was in college, I hated Tebow because I don't think we beat Tebow at all. I think he beat us all 4 years, or all 3 years, probably he was there. I'm sure he went into the NFL after 3, but
that's rough. Now,
yeah, there was an era where we just lost. So
Was Georgia always good?
Well,
I know they've been good for a long time, but
for me, yes, Georgia's always been pretty good.
so you're spoiled. You're
Oh
so
yeah.
spoiled.
Oh yeah. As far as football goes, I'm real spoiled. We've had our down years. We've had our down years. We had the year where Joe Cox was our quarterback. We had another year where Grayson Lambert was our starting quarterback.
I have no idea.
And I would assume you've never heard of either of them.
Nope.
And that is because they never did anything worthy of you hearing about other than losing over and over and over again. They were really not very good. Grayson Lambert was better than Joe Cox.
Okay.
For
Dude,
some
he's coming
reason,
after you now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. If you listen to this, I'm really sorry, but man, you didn't play up to the standard that Georgia was hoping for. I'm sure you're a great guy, and I remember the one thing I do remember about Joe Cox, I'm pretty sure, was that his older brother had played football and had his last year of eligibility he hadn't played. Like he had graduated, I think, and then he didn't play his final year of eligibility. And so he came back the year Joe Cox was quarterback and played for Georgia as like a backup quarterback. So he could play on the same team as his brother.
Oh, that's funny.
And I thought that was really cool. So I liked Joe Cox as a person. I didn't like him as our quarterback because he lost a lot.
Oh, way to say that, Josiah. Way to say that.
But yeah. So yeah, we had our down years. But generally, since Mark Richt has took over the job, we were good pretty much from the beginning of Mark Richt to near the end of Mark Richt. And that's when we started to fall off. And then they were like, well, get Richt out of there. A bunch of donors, didn't want Richt anymore because he wasn't winning SEC championships. Got Richt out of there. They brought Kirby in. We had a down year, his first year, because it was his first year. Which we were all expecting. And then, we went to the national championship. So I have been pretty spoiled as far as football teams go. Yeah.
You've been spoiled, but I've been wanting to ask you this question. How does it feel to be the team that always gets so close, but never gets there?
Okay. So that hurts. That hurts, man. That sucks.
Wouldn't you rather just be terrible?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't, because we were that first year that Kirby came in and we knew we were going to be bad. Like, I was like, I know we're not going to be good his first year. So I'm just expecting nothing. And that wasn't fun because then it didn't feel competitive.
Right.
But
has that taken a toll on your relationship with your dad and your brother?
No, it didn't. We were just watching football and saying things that we found hopeful for next year.
Oh, okay. You're very positive.
Yes. Yeah.
Like what we were saying earlier. There's no negatives. There's no constructive criticism and positive.
Yeah. Exactly. You got to stick to the positive side of life, or else everything sucks. I mean, that's what negatives do to you. But I mean, yeah, no, it's hard watching my team. Actually, my teams. The Braves got to the World Series, I want to say, a few years ago. They lost the Falcons in 2016. They lost Georgia in 2017. They lost the national championship. Then the next year they lost in the SEC championship, which if they had won that, I think they would have won the national championship, because it was against Alabama, and it kind of was, if Alabama wins, Alabama goes. If Georgia wins, Georgia goes. But whichever one didn't win wasn't going. So yeah, it was unfortunate that we lost to Alabama 2 years in a row. It hurt to watch, and I hate you, Nick Saban. That's not true. I don't hate Nick Saban. But he is horribly frustrating for Georgia fans because he's really stumped Kirby. I guess that's what happens when you teach a guy everything he knows, and then
Right.
and then he tries to come back and beat you. But
What have you learned most from being a Georgia football fan? I mean, I know you're a Georgia Bulldog athletic fan, but after this conversation, it seems to me you're just like all in on football.
It's mostly football, but that's just because that was what my dad always watched.
Right.
I have actually recently a little bit more watched a little bit of baseball, a little bit of basketball.
Your basketball team's gotten pretty decent.
Yeah, we had
recently.
Anthony Edwards, and he's in the NBA already. So
Number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's our first in a long time.
But what have you learned?
Dominique Wilkins. But yeah,
Oh,
what have I learned as a fan? I mean,
growing up as a fan, as a Georgia
growing
fan.
up as a fan, I mean, kind of like, I'll say two things. One, from like a very sincere perspective. Spend as much time with your family as you can, and have those things that you're all interested in. Obviously, not everyone is blessed to have a loving family and both parents and whatever it is, but if you are blessed to have that, spend as much time with them as you can, and get to know them, find things that you're interested in, you're both interested in. Get to know your parents, get to know your siblings.
Family doesn't necessarily mean blood. It can mean friends that you're very close with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That too. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Whether it's family or friends, just get to know people. I think it's very important to have people around you that love you, and you should always make an effort to do whatever you can to show them that you love them. And that's kind of a weird thing to get from sports, but it really was something that I got from sports. Because it was just something I always got to do with my dad and always got to do with my brother.
And you continue to get to do that.
And I continue to get to do that. And with you, we've got to do a lot of sports related things. Obviously not play sports as much.
I got to coach you.
You did get to coach me though, for one basketball tournament, two really basketball tournaments. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
But we do live like a couple thousand miles away from each other, so sports is generally hard to play together. But we play NCAA.
Right.
14.
Bring back NCAA.
Shout out to the best game of all time. But yeah, no. Sports has been great. Then on a less serious perspective, it's really taught me how to lose graciously.
And how to hate Florida.
Oh yeah. And Auburn and Georgia Tech and
every SEC school.
Every SEC school. You know what? I don't hate Alabama.
Really?
I don't hate Alabama. That's been an interesting thing I've noticed. I don't hate Alabama. I don't hate LSU. And I think it's because of the fan bases. LSU's fan base is freaking hilarious, man.
Really?
you ever go to LSU game in person, everyone is just decked out in there's probably 100 people with like fluffy tiger heads on their head and people wearing capes and people wearing, there's everywhere. Obviously everyone's got, the spike section or whatever it is, or the shirtless section, and everyone's got their diehard fans, but LSU seems to have only diehard fans.
That's awesome.
And they're fun to play against. And Alabama, they just got nice fans, man. Obviously not all of them, but from my experience, their fans have been overall pretty nice. So I don't mind Alabama so much.
All right, we've been pretty positive today. I'm gonna how the turntables on you. And what is something that really irks you about the Georgia Bulldog athletic program, if there is anything?
That's a very good question. Well, one thing that irks me about the Georgia Bulldog program which this isn't exclusive to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Right.
This is kind of with any college or with any college sports. The donors are the ones that really run the team. The alumni that donate tons of money every year, the super rich alumni that donate tons of money every year to UGA sports, they run it all. Because as much as I love Kirby Smart now, it was very frustrating to watch a Mark Richt who he wasn't doing as well as he used to, but he was still winning a lot. And he was not just a great coach, he was a great leader for the kids on the team. So he was helping these guys graduate and become better men, as well as not just better football players, but better men.
And the donors got rid of him.
And the donors got rid of him because he wasn't winning national championships. The donors said, hey, McGarity, who was the athletic director, might still be, they said, hey, man, we're going to stop donating until you get rid of Mark Richt. And they got rid of Mark Richt. So I hate how just the money runs it all. But that's just how it works. But it's so annoying to watch.
Talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. No, yeah, we did. But it's not something that's ever going to change. But like, it's just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Just annoying. Those big donors just get whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's at every college, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it is. It's not just UGA. It's every college, but it's also a UGA.
You just have more of them than most schools.
Yes. And also, the other thing that irks me about UGA is we keep hiring Will Muschamp, and also we can't win the big games. It's painful every year to watch. We lost to Florida this year. We didn't even go to the SEC championship. I mean, we did play half the year with Stetson Bennett as our quarterback.
All right, so let us know what does this next year look like for Georgia football?
Well, the general consensus from the UGA football fan base is hopefulness. I mean, we really this year we're really, really hopeful that we're going to get some pretty darn good recruits, and we've got JT Daniels, who looked stellar at the end of the year, and I mean we've got a pretty darn good defense. Our defensive back core apparently is a little lacking, so we're a little worried about that. But we did get 2 transfer defensive backs, one of who is going to play immediately, Darion Kendrick. He's a cornerback. And he's 4 or 5 stars. He's 5 stars coming out of high school. He's 4-star transfer, according to 247 Sports. And we're getting another safety who's a 4-star transfer, Tyke Smith from West Virginia. But yeah, I mean, we should have a good team. We've got Todd Monken as our offensive coordinator. He spent a year at the Browns and immediately came to UGA. We struggled last year, but he had a year to get his system going, and now hopefully this year he can really set it in stone. He's got his quarterback. He had the latter part of the year to work with him last year, so hopefully this year we should be able to go all the way. And if we can't this year, Kirby might be in trouble.
Oh, I mean, if any SEC coach doesn't do well, I feel like they're in trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the general buzz is, hey, Kirby's had his shot. He's made it to the big game. He lost, and he has failed to get back there ever since. So there are a couple of people. I think the donors might be coming for him.
Oh no, not the donors and the money.
But yeah, if he can't win this year. Now I don't know about that. But that's just some rumors I've heard. But I'd personally I'd give him another year. I'd give him at least another year. And he's done really well, other than this past year where we didn't really have a starting quarterback.
It's almost like another Mark Richt situation.
It is. It is. I think we need to keep Kirby at least for a few more years.
I'd like to.
And the other thing is too, okay, we've got some good quarterbacks coming in. So we've got Brock Vandegrift, we've got Carson Beck, we've got JT Daniels. If none of them work out, okay, maybe he's not as good at recruiting as we thought he was.
Right.
But as it looks right now, we're looking up. Things are looking up. We're looking forward. We should win.
UGA. Go Dogs, baby.
Yeah.
But for you, it's Dogs. D-A.
Dogs. Go Dogs.
Well, what I learned from this is that you are a Georgia Bulldog fan because you grew up with your dad, who is a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. You watched every Saturday. You hate Florida.
Yeah.
And you're always hopeful. Seems like you're always, I mean, you can't be anything but hopeful when you're a Georgia Bulldog football fan because you make it so far every year.
We make it so far. We've got like a top 2 recruiting class every year. Like, we have to be hopeful. If we're not hopeful, then what are we?
But there's lots of disappointment involved with being a Georgia football fan.
So far, yes.
Yeah, I learned quite a bit about why I liked what you said about what you learned from growing up, around Georgia football, about family and friends, and creating memories with people and loving each other. It's great. Thank you for sharing, Josiah.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking.
All right, that'll do it for the Tuesday Get to Know. We got to know a little bit more about Josiah and why he's a Georgia football fan. And tomorrow is a big day. Episode number 3.
Big day.
On Wednesday, what are we doing? Just give them a sneak peek so they can be ready.
Tier list.
Tier list, baby. I'm very
Tier
excited.
list. This is going to be fun for us. It's going to be fun for you. It's all fun for us. But hopefully it's all fun for you. But this one should be especially fun.
There's going to be lots of arguing.
Yes.
You're going to want to go
list
on
together.
YouTube. Yes, we're making the list. It's a consensus list. We're going to argue, duke it out to see where each quarterback goes. And we want you to watch it on YouTube because I think that's where you will find the most enjoyment. You can listen to it though on Spotify and iTunes. Well, actually, I take that back. Spotify and Anchor right now. We're working on iTunes. On YouTube, leave a comment and email us with anything that you want to hear. If you have any questions, we're going to do more get to knows. So if you have questions as you get to know us and you have questions for us, let us know and what you want to hear us talk about. Josiah is going to talk to me on Thursday. He's got some questions for me on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're recapping the week.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yes, I think we'll talk about it more.
Yeah, things are in progress. We're getting there. It's our first week.
Yeah. Cut us some slack. West Nile Virus on TikTok and Instagram. And tell your friends and your family, all your loved ones. Thank you. We're saving planet Earth one show
episode
at a time.
That makes way more sense.
All right. Peace out, everybody.